Hello viewers, you're welcome again to our family show, The Living Room on Equa TV. We've missed you and I'm sure you've missed us. And we're sorry we've been off air for a while. It's been due to circumstances beyond our control. But we're very happy to be back and I'm sure you're happy to have us again on your screen. On the screen today with me is, as usual, one of my favorite aunties, Professor Theresa Madu, and also Mrs. Ibwebe Namo. She's here with us, also known as Sister IB. Yes. Before we went off air for a while, we had been talking about discipline in the home. And we had been taking discipline in stages based on age. But one of the things we had agreed was that discipline involves both parents. It's not only for the mother, neither is it only for the father. And then in disciplining children, parents must be on the same page. It's not a solo affair, because if you make it a solo affair, the children can pitch you against each other. Children are very smart. They know when there's a disconnect in communication between parents, and they'll play you. So you need to be together to make sure that we raise up those children in the way and the fear of the Lord. And we had also agreed that the standard of discipline is the Word of God. Nothing outside the Word of God. We can't use human wisdom to raise children who have been created in God's image. We need to use God's blueprint and master plan in raising these kids. So we've been talking about different age groups, how to discipline them. And the last time we were here, we started with preteens, but really didn't go far. So we'll go back to them again. But before we continue talking about preteens, we're going to try to talk about the characteristics of these preteens, how they are physically, socially, mentally, and otherwise, the kind of children they are at this point in time. So maybe I'll start with Antitests about who are these preteens. When we're saying preteens, who are they?
So I thought we might say up till 12, but 13, 14, 15, the ages kind of overlap depending on what child it is. And I think what parents need to know is that they get there faster than you imagined. You know, you are celebrating 9, 10, and then you are face to face with this category of people that we're talking about. And I kept wondering, are they not the most interesting set that parents will deal with, you know, because of who they are at that point? I think for me, my most fascinating thing about this age is the fact that everything has a why. You know, you say this, you say why. And the why is not a rude why. The why is, if this is red, why? I need to know factually why it is like that. So they are an irritating age. They're an irritating age. But yeah. You know, at Ivy and I were also comparing notes. We said some of the things we like about them is that the boys eat a lot, the girls skimp, but common to both of them is the fact that they are competitive, but they also compare notes. The boys compare notes with boys, the girls compare notes with girls, you know. I think viewers will remember that at this age, if you had a reasonable mirror in your house,
they're always there.
You stayed there quite often. So this is the selfie age. If they have access to a phone, this is the selfie age. They'll take 20 pictures and they're just so obsessed with themselves. So
I think this is when they start having body image issues for those who would have body image issues. Yeah. So Ivy, what else about these wonderful group of people?
Like I said, they are preteens, which means they are preparing for teenage.
Yeah.
So they are very anxious. They want to be teenagers. So they are always on the run. They look at themselves as if we're not children. They don't want you to call them children. It's at that age they start fighting the Sunday school teachers if they want to lump them up with the children. Especially if they have problem with height. I remember one of our children, we went for a program in Diamond Bank, and he was very short. So they were putting people in age group. So they told him, I see your age group. They say, look at me very well. I'm 12. Don't you tell me to go to that. I'm not a child. I thought, I said, okay, this one is not a child. Okay, so because they are very conscious of themselves, they always fight back. That's why they ask the question, why? When you tell them to wear a dress, why should I wear this dress? When you tell them to eat, why should I eat rice instead of plantain and things like that? So they are very conscious of themselves, and they are anxious to be called teenagers.
Okay, so they are looking forward to being teenagers, being looked at as big people.
Something in that teenage.
Yeah, everybody thinks there's something about being a teenager. I thought too there was something a big deal about being a teenager. Yeah, and I looked forward to it. So yeah, like I'm a teenager. Then the other thing about them at this age, physically, they are beginning to develop secondary sexual characteristics. Yes. The girls are developing breasts. Some have started menstruating, are about to start. The boys too, their genitalia is growing. Well, they haven't started growing beards, but that's when they want to grow beards. That's when they start doing the methylated spirit thing on their chin to make sure that beards grow. So their bodies are changing. And as you had said earlier, they are more self-conscious, and so they spend a lot of time in front of the mirror, and I think it also affects the way they dress. For the girls, that's when they begin to wear big sweaters. They don't want anybody to notice that they are developing breasts. Yes. So parents, when you see your daughters always wearing big sweaters, big clothes, and you're wondering what's wrong with this girl, self-image issues. She's becoming conscious of herself. So you need to encourage her and not blast her for dressing strangely. What else about them? What of intellectually?
I was checking up on how they act in school. This is when attitudes start showing up. You know, I don't know. And teachers will do well not to accept I don't know. In fact, at that age, we need to challenge them in terms of achievement, in terms of behavioral standards, but not just behavioral standards, beginning to also help them to look at the ends of the things that they want to do, you know, because we are naturally short-sighted. But at that age, you need to keep telling them that what you do today contributes to what you get at the end of maybe the term or the semester. That helps them, you know, really focused. But I think one of the things that teachers can do in school is set the standards high, insist that there's no opt-out, don't accept I don't know, you know, and they can be critical thinkers if you steer them that way, you know,
and
because
get them to open
they're
up
very
and
philosophical, talk. They can think through things. That's why there are many young inventors at that age, if we can excite their intellect. So parents also need to do a lot of helping to expose them. And like we have said on previous shows, we should down how much screen time there is so that they are engaged in these other things. Do you know that this is also when they are very competitive sports-wise? Okay. If you engage them, they will begin to know what they are really good at, whether they are athletes, whether they have a sport, and if the boys are putting on weight, you know that this is a good avenue for holding them accountable to do sports and all of that. They can be quite an exciting group at this time. But challenging, that means parents also have to be present in mind. You can't just do it anyhow. You have to be deliberate about what you do with these kids. Word of caution. Sometimes parents just imagine that because I played football, this one too will play football, you know? Okay. because they're always challenging you. Oh, I don't know, I don't want to do this, that's not what I like. But by getting them to try all kinds of sports, we'll get something
What
that
they like.
they are actually good at. Even in middle school, this is the ages where they are picking instruments and being very good at the instruments that they would play later.
What of socially? What kind of people are they? Maybe.
Like they like we said, they like to ask why, but they don't answer questions. When you ask them a question, it's like, I don't know, I think, and they like to keep friends within their sex at this age. And funny enough, some of them even have crushes on the opposite sex, but they keep it as a gossip within their link, their clique. They talk about, that guy, I like him, he's fine, and they talk about it, amongst themselves. And they like to celebrate birthdays. They like you to, when you wake them up with a birthday celebration, you have made their day. If you forget their birthday, they can hold you in their heart for life. That I was 12 or I was 10, my mother did not even remember my birthday. So any other birthday you celebrate after that, she will still be reminding you of her 12-year birthday that you forgot. And there are always people who will tell you things like, I'm doing something. What are you doing?
Something.
I will ask my son, what is this something? Say, Mommy, it's something. Something. Or you don't understand.
Yeah.
Or you won't understand. They use such words. You won't understand. I'm doing something. And I want to go somewhere. Where are you going exactly? They
Somewhere.
Somewhere, they hide a lot of things about them. So socially, they keep within their sex, their gender group. And even when they want to play with the opposite sex, they are a little cautious of themselves. They are not too outgoing with the opposite sex that much, except a few of them who are tomboys, like the girls who are tomboys who can mix with any sex and they don't care. But many of them, they think the boys are looking at them, so they don't want to play too much with the boy because
they're self-conscious. Things are changing.
Yes.
Yeah. I think also part of the challenge they have is this change is happening in their bodies. They don't understand. And I think it's also even mentally, because their cognition seems to have changed. They are no more seeing things in a childish way, as you say. They are more mature in the way they view the world. So it's like, what's happening to me? And I think that adds to the problems and the confusions in their lives. So as parents, how do we engage with these children? Because we need to talk of how to engage with them before we begin to talk of discipline and all that. And the issue that you raised, that at this age is when they can strive to be such great people. We begin to find inventors, great sports people. So how do we interface with them to be able to get the best and get them focused on the right path?
Part of the episodes we've looked at, we had said, keep remaining friends with them. Keep remaining friends with them. One of the privileges that parents have is that you are dropping children off, you are bringing them back. There's a lot of time to gel. So how was your day? Oh, nothing fantastic. But you probe further. And you look through the books and you are talking. This subject, you didn't do so well. Is there a reason? Do we need to talk to the teacher? Just being there for them, And as they are talking, you are also looking and asking more questions. In other words, don't be satisfied with, I don't know.
So in other words, that their facade of or facade of standoffishness. We shouldn't be put off as parents because it's easy to. She doesn't like talking. If I ask her, she says she doesn't know, so you just let her be. You don't stop.
No.
Talk about clothes, because that is one area where you can get a lot of argument. I didn't give my children the liberty of picking clothes on their own before 15, but they had opinions. So they had opinions about what they want and what I want, and our goals were slightly different. I felt like they should be dressed modestly and in a godly way. They won't tell me that that's not what they want. They wanted trending fashion. So beyond 15, when they can actually shop, before 15, I doubt that they have the wisdom to shop. They'll throw away your money, except they are going to Katako. But if they are
even then, they can still waste money there.
So I would think that engage them in such a way that they are free to share the clothes, and then you can discuss which clothes are modest and which ones are not modest and why. You know, the why will keep coming. But this is not something that should create friction, really. Because later on, they also agree. So I remember at that age, I used to tell them that this skirt that you're wearing, if you sit, can it cover your knees? And of course, it will always not cover their knees. So what do? We say, maybe this is a house outfit. It's not an outing outfit. We can agree, make it a discussion. Tell them why, ask them why they like this and why they don't like that. It will be conversational. You'll be learning about the child very early.
As they talk. Yeah.
And some of them are very fashion conscious from that particular age. So you begin to see whether they are fashion conscious people. And then you just try to moderate it, but stay friends. I keep saying stay friends. The other was, just because the taste is not mine doesn't mean that it is ungodly.
Yeah, because I remember when that age, I really had a running battle with my mom, and she never really asked questions. She just put rules down, and I refused when it came to clothes. Because I'd gone to secondary school, I came home, she wanted me to still wear clothes that you tie at the back, those frocks that have belt at the back. A whole secondary school student, and wear socks with shoe. I told her I wasn't going to do that. I was not a child anymore. So it was, we were in the battlefield. And I was very strong-willed. So sometimes I'll say, okay, I'm not going out with you people, but because I will not wear those clothes. So I think after a while, one of my aunts now waded in and tried to tell my mom to calm down, that, I was growing and she should be more understanding. Then I also didn't like that wearing uniform with my younger sister. Oh God, why would you want to do that? A whole almost teenager. I didn't want that. So that was also a running battle. So Ibi, what?
Okay, like Mommy said, you keep that friendship. It's very important. Please don't talk down on them. Even if you don't like what they want or what they are asking for, it's not time to shout at them and make them hate. I don't know, sometimes parents create hatred between them and these children, or they attack the children in such a way that the children become withdrawn. If you have to know their talent, then you have to be their friends, because if you are not their friends, they will withdraw. So because some of the things they will even love to do, they won't tell you, they will keep it to themselves. And sometimes, their peer at that point have very strong influence on them. So if you don't make friends with them, they will make friends with their peers. And they don't like comparison. Even if they fail their exam, it's not time to tell them, your friend, she maybe you went for is this speech and prize giving day, and their friend is the one carrying all the prizes, and then you come back home and start saying, you see, your friend, she took all the prizes. What were you doing?
Yeah, and you went as an escort to school.
I paid your school fees. Do you know what it took me? I couldn't even wear good trousers or good clothes just because I want to pay your school fees. Now I've paid. Look at what you are doing. No. sit with them, like she said, sit with them, try to find out, why did you fail this subject? What is going on? And we think they don't have worries. They have. They have a lot of worry. And your closeness to them will help you to also check whether they have any mental issues. Because mental issues now are very prevalent among children. If you do not make friends with them, you won't know if they have any mental issue that is disturbing them. Even anxiety is a mental issue. Maybe they are anxious about even passing, or they have anxiety concerning a particular subject. And because you don't talk with them, you are not friendly with them, you don't even know. All you see is they failed, and then you are angry and you want to pounce on them. But if you talk with them, engage them, create friendship in the ordinary things of the house, so that they are very free with you to the point that the real issues they can discuss with you. Because if you are not friendly with them on the ordinary issues in the house, and you are expecting them that when they have issues they will come and talk, they won't. So you create that friendship, that relationship, so that they can easily access you. And don't give rules, unattainable rules. That's what I call them. Like, if I see you with a boy, you are dead. Are you actually going to kill them? Ask yourself, if truly you see him with a boy, are you going to kill them? A mother once told me that her husband told the daughter that he sent her to go and buy things that if he's following her behind.
So why did he send her?
I don't know. If he sees her talk to any boy on the way, she will come and answer to him. What is the meaning of that?
Okay, you hold that thought there. It's time to go on break.
Already?
Yes, already. And then when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Viewers, when we come back, our phone lines will be open, and then you could ask any questions or contribute to this conversation. So break time. So welcome back, viewers, from break. We've been talking about discipline in the home, and we've been dealing with the issue of preteens, children aged 10 to 12, and the issues that surround them. And we shouldn't be put off by their standoffishness, in quotes. All the, I don't know, all that. Don't be put off. Keep asking questions, keep digging deeper, and once they see you available, they'll begin to talk to you as you ask the questions. And we've been talking of how to interface with them. Some issues Mrs. Namo just raised about not shouting at them, not giving unattainable rules. For example, don't say you kill them if they do something, because you're not going to kill them. So let's not say things that we won't and can't do. So let's be real, let's remain close to them as we try to get them to be the best that God desires that they be. So at this age, Antimatter, you had raised some things about what they can achieve. This is when they become inventors, or we begin to
Very
see
innovative.
their innovative skills. They become sportsmen and all that. Now in the home, what are the kind of things we expect our preteens to be able to do?
So I would continue from where Ivy left. I had hoped that what we will get the audience to do is to always make sure we reframe. Instead of seeing the bad side of the child, what can that that observation, what can that observation be used for? If a child likes to draw a lot, what can that child do with drawing? Maybe they are architects in the making. Maybe they are engineers in the making. So by reframing, what possibly is an irritant, we can actually get them to begin to dream. I remember one of my children who is a finance expert. She was so fascinated by counting money. So every time we drove into a filling station, she was actually fascinated by the cashiers and the fact that they handle so much money. And if we talk about what do you want to be in the future, I want to be a petrol attendant. I'm like, do you want to be a petrol attendant, or what's the fascination? Say they handle a lot of money. So we began to say, we can do better than petrol attendant. We can learn to be accountants who actually manage far more money than that. Can you see that you can just reframe what ordinarily you will use to make fun of them into something very positive? So parents need to reframe a lot with children at this age.
But you can only do that if you are talking.
Yeah, but then also, there isn't one size fits all. Some are quiet, some are talkative, and with just a little prodding, they'll talk. But some, you need to observe and also probably do several other things. I have a son who is very quiet, but his aptitude indicated that he's going to be a very good business person because he has a lot of critical thinking. He met with the thing, but he's not outgoing. He's not really that talkative person. So that you don't have one size fits all. What I'm saying is that whether it's the quieter person or the more outgoing person, let's engage them on the possibilities that they have. But it's not always at that age that they know everything they can be. So what can a parent do? What are the strengths academically? Are they more numerate, or are they towards the arts? What fascinates them? Do they like to bury themselves in books? And whatever they want to do, let's encourage them to be more and more and more and more. Like me, the ones that are bookworms among my grandchildren, I'm already calling them profs. I'm already telling them that people who read like this, they get to be professors. I was shocked that a 9-year-old is telling me that when I grow up, I'm going to take a PhD. Where is that coming from? So, we begin to talk and reframe. Just keep reframing.
Okay. Just to remind our viewers, our number is on the screen. So if you want to ask questions or you want to contribute to this conversation, please call in, and we'll be happy to hear from you. Ivy, what do you want to contribute to this?
In the home, you could also begin to make them take responsibilities. Make them do all their laundries themselves, and maybe check to see whether they're doing it properly. Enter their room and teach them or engage them in arranging the room so that the rooms are not scattered, especially the boys. The shoes are somewhere. Teach them to be
Organized
in the home. And then as you talk to them, like she said, if you notice anything that they are fascinated about, begin to look for a way to enhance that thing in them. Like when I noticed my daughter loves to sing, before she even, right from JS1, I started looking for where I can get music tutors for her. And when I talked with her, she was interested, so she started in her school, they don't do any music. So we started doing music around the house. She got somebody who was helping her with music. So that by the time she finished secondary school, before she got into the university, she had a music teacher. She was learning her keyboard, she was learning her guitar on her own. And we had to also buy some of these things for her. okay, the boy, there's one of them who can do magic with the computer. So my husband lets him have his tablet. Now he does almost all his work for him, because we notice that is an area he's very good. But if you're not close with them, you may not know some of these things.
And so we shouldn't even, the things we notice they are good at, we shouldn't discourage. We should rather encourage and find ways
my son said
they can
to me
express
that,
themselves.
Mommy, you were the one who stopped me. If not, I would have been a footballer. I was like, I didn't know that he loves to play football, but I was always screaming at him anytime he goes to play football. So he thought that playing football was not good, so he stopped. So I had to apologize.
Is he late now?
I talked to him. He's in 400 level.
Oh, okay.
So I talked with him. I said, "Do you still want that?" No, he's not going back to football again. So, but I had to apologize because I didn't know I did anything like that. Maybe it was one of those moments, So, if you notice they are good at something, instead of getting angry, even if you think that thing is affecting their schoolwork, it's time to talk. Help them to learn prioritize. You love football. Okay, can you do this and this and this? Then use this time to play your football. You love to sing. Can you do this and this and this? Then use the, as they see that you are interested in them. Like Sarah will say that life is not just about reading and knowing all the books. Creativity. Some of them, they have green fingers. Some of them, they love flowers. Some of them love pets. In my house, the last boy, any animal is his friend. He will hug the dog, he will hug the cat, and me. That thing gives me those people. So my husband said, leave him. He loves them. Maybe he's going to be a vet doctor, but now he will tell me, no, I want to be flying plane in the air. I know he's still small, he's just 10, but we're encouraging him. Before, if he goes close to the dog, I will say, no, the dog is dirty. Okay, go on. Then he will go and boil water, he will give the dog a bath, So encourage them in that area.
But I think there should be structure.
Yeah.
And children at that age still need some kind of structure. When they come back, let's make sure that they catch some rest, because school has been long. They are coming in around 3. Can they have a structure? Maybe they have a nap, and this nap applies to this age, so that they learn to catch a little rest. Then there should be time for homework, then time for chores, then time for this sports. So I will encourage that parents have structure. I think we have also mentioned on this program that parents should have menu, so that
it even makes life easier for you.
Let's have menu, let's have structure. It helps them. It won't stop them from eating. We talked offset how good an appetite the boys have at this age. This is the age of drinking gari. If they're in the boarding school, they ask for more gari. They have good appetite, So, but let's have structure so that it helps them with developing the discipline that they need.
Okay. And I think this is the age too they should have started learning how to cook. As they have huge appetites, they should also know how to prepare the food that they want to eat. Now, the other thing that came out for this age group, we've talked about they are being very self-conscious. And for those who may have body image issues, this is when it starts. So how do we deal with that so that our children have a healthy self-image, but are not also over-consumed with themselves? So how do we strike the balance, and how do we help them?
Sexuality education is very important at this age.
So that means we'll continue from where we stopped, because we had said they should have started sexuality education earlier.
Yeah, so you continue, teach them to appreciate the opposite sex as a brother, not see them as part of their sex objects, and teach them to also be conscious of themselves, part of them, their body that belongs to them and them alone. And teach them the hygiene of sexuality education, the hygiene of taking care of themselves, because at this age, some of them, their menses have started. For the boys, they've started thinking and all of those things. So, and like we said, their self-image, they are self-conscious. The pimples have started coming, and they want to buy everything in this world to remove the pimples from their face. Maybe if you don't know, you can read up what they can do.
I think Ivy has jumped to the teen years. Between that 12 and 13, these children are not making purchases yet. But I think what parents can do for them before the sexuality is reaffirming them, you have a beautiful body.
Okay.
This dress looks fine on you. Because they are unsure whether it looks fine on them. But if their parent compliments the fact that this looks fine on you, you see, it begins to strengthen their self-worth. For the longest time, I didn't know that I was a beautiful woman.
Nobody said so.
No, my mom didn't want me to tip over because I already had a propensity for pride and show off. So she thought that one of the ways to help me was, I'll wear a fine dress, and she said, it doesn't even look fine on you.
Wow.
But when I was raising my own children, I reframed, and I would say, that dress looks fine on you. Then I would use Psalm 139 and say, God made you wonderfully. So they were repeating to themselves that God made them wonderfully. When people do that, they don't need another person to tell them that they look fine. So our parents should reaffirm. But you were doing it when they were 3 and 4. What happened now that they are getting into the preteens? They need to hear that from you, and an honest opinion. But I always was careful to remind them that the beauty came from God. It was God's gift to you. So I think you've jumped a little further about the pimples. That is in the full-blown teen side, when they want to do something about it. At this age, sometimes they don't care because they are eating granules in
quantity.
But we had also said earlier that children develop at different rates.
Yeah.
So some have become very conscious of the pimples, but that is more common with the teenagers.
Yes,
but
yeah.
some have started at this age. So what else can we do? She said encourage them, tell them they look nice, so that they have healthy
self-image,
and tell them they are created in the image of God. So what else can we do?
Love them, show them love, teach them to respect adults. And there are adults, every adult, not just their parents, should be respected, but teach them to also be bold to stand up to adults who are doing wrong things. Not with disrespect. Respectfully stand bold to adults, because some adults take advantage of them, especially in schools. I've seen teachers, male teachers, take advantage of 11, 12-year-olds, like that. So teach them to respect adults, but also teach them to stand up to adults respectfully, and all about themselves and their self-esteem. Tell them how beautiful they are, like she already said.
But ask them what they think about things too.
Okay.
They usually have
their own opinions.
They have an opinion. You may not like it, but at least you get to hear what they actually think. You understand? Like in church, they tell us about how one teacher is boring, how one teacher wasn't organized. We get to hear what they think about this. So it's time to ask them, in your opinion, what does organized mean? How would you have
done it differently?
How would you have done it differently? I like to just hear what they are thinking. You understand? You'll be amazed. They have a lot of things to show.
And then I think the issue you raised about teaching them to respect their seniors, because you had said earlier that it's at this age they begin to have attitude. They have attitude. So the tendency to be rude,
they have an attitude,
becomes more at that age. So you see a child who in the past used to be very nice and respectful, suddenly starts giving an attitude. You know, doesn't want to greet. If you say greet, say why or something. The why things and do I have to? You know, those kind of things. So I think parents should continue to insist that you need to greet, you need to be respectful, and those kind of things. Don't say, okay, they are big boys and girls, and then you stop trying to speak to them or get them to do what is right.
I think on a word on courtesy, you know, courtesy is not an African thing. It's a human thing. People think that it's only Africans that insist that we should be courteous in our manners, or be, okay, we're a little over dramatic, we kneel and all of that. But do you know that for the longest time that you live, courtesy will always grease human relations.
Oh, yeah.
People will jump over several people to go to somebody who is courteous on their behavior, which is why we must teach them etiquette at home and hope that they show the etiquette in schools, and schools are reinforcing those values that we're putting in them.
And then just to add to that, you know, when people talk about or pray for favor, I also tell my kids, I said, sometimes this favor we pray for does not fall from the sky. It's your attitude that brings or takes away favor from you. Any child who is respectful, who greets, usually if that child walks up to you to ask for something,
of course,
you usually would do what you can, so far as it's within your power to do it. But a child who is not nice, does not greet, well, you may do something, but you're not going to really go out of your way to do anything for that child. And same with adults, it's a general thing, as you say, as you've said earlier. So that being courteous, being a respectful person, it opens doors for people. So parents, don't say, oh, the child, because I've seen parents do so many silly things. A child is not greeting, and you're like, greet me. Why won't you greet? And the parent goes, Junior, greet now. I'm not greeting. And she says, Junior, you're just being naughty today. That's the end of the story.
That's indulgence.
Yes. I've even gone to a house where the child didn't greet, and the parent goes, and I'm like, you didn't greet. He says, I don't know you, so I won't greet you. I'm telling you. And it's not like he's a very small child. This child is over 5. And the mother just like say, yeah, you have come again with this, your trouble. And that was the end of the matter.
No. That's
I
indulgence.
couldn't believe it. I'm like, for real? In this town? Well, so parents, please, let's work at it and make sure that our kids are respectful, they greet. You won't always be around to do things for them. It's the what they have sowed that they are going to reap in future. And if they've not sown well or good things, they are not going to reap good.
Like for the house chores, you know, there's always a battle. If there are like 2, 3, I was the one who did the dishes yesterday, I'm not doing it again. So we should have like a timetable and assign duties to there's no boy, there's no girl. Every child is a child in the house. We should assign duties. You are washing the dishes today, you are doing it tomorrow. Everybody should know what they are supposed to do. And if somebody fails in his duty, there should be assigned punishment. Okay, should I call it punishment or restrictions?
Consequences.
Or consequences.
Okay, so how do we get these consequences?
There are many creative ways.
Yeah. So many. There are some things they love that you can withdraw.
Withdraw privileges.
Yes, withdraw privileges, you know. You can, when you are going out for an outing, the one that didn't do his dishes, you deny him that chance.
Or you make them do double chores.
Exactly.
Okay.
You didn't do your dishes today, you do the dishes the following day, morning, afternoon, evening.
Okay. What else? Parents, so I hope we are taking notes.
In fact, there are many ways to get a child besides a cane.
Cane, yeah.
There's many ways. Just look at what is important to them, and then use that what is important to them to trade favors.
Yeah, and I think at that age, I'm not sure if the cane really works.
It doesn't.
Like
anymore.
TV, their favorite show.
Yeah.
Just say, sorry, no
You won't
TV
watch.
today.
Yeah.
You can withdraw even some of the things you gave them, that they love, you can withdraw it for a while. Some of them play games, some of these game pads, if they have it and they didn't do what they're supposed to do, say you won't have the game pad for a month or for a week or for 2 days because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. So there are several ways, you can restrict them from things in the house, participating in things that everybody.
Okay, we have a call from Yaba.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Are you listening to me?
Yes.
We are, sir.
Yeah, I'm happy to contribute little into this program that I'm watching at present.
Okay.
It's as good as for our community, but particularly to the Christian homes. Please, I'm really happy about it.
Okay, you didn't tell us your
Let
name.
them ring it to the hearings of the parents. Parents were number one teachers.
Yeah.
They should portray what we call Christianity, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, our caller from Yaba, you didn't tell us your name. Okay, he's gone.
He's
Okay,
gone.
thank you very much for the contribution.
But I really liked what he said about modeling.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, because you can't be asking children to do things that you
I'm not doing. So leadership by example, parenting by example.
As a father, you have never been to the kitchen. You don't want to have anything to do with the kitchen. And then your boys, you want them to go and cook. It will be a little.
Okay, our caller from Yaba is calling back again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
We missed your name.
I have said it, I have pronounced it before. I am Warrant Officer Timo.
Okay, Warrant Officer Timo, thank you very much.
Contribute openly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling back again.
Like I said, let it be open to the parents. Parents were number one teachers. And everything they should do it according to Christianity. Let them portray what we call Christianity. It will help in future.
Okay.
Thank you
very
Thank
much.
you.
So parents, they've drawn our ears that we must exemplify what we want our children to be. So
I
if you-
remember what your boss had said many weeks back
Yeah, when he called
about
in.
the strength of the relationship between parents. Sometimes spouses are disrespectful to one another.
Okay, Sunday from Asaba. After him, I think we'll wrap up. Sunday from Asaba.
Yeah, Stanley from Asaba.
Okay.
Yes. This is a very important topic that don't need to be overemphasized, even in the Christendom.
Yeah.
So if you look at what is happening in the society now, we really discover that the family has already failed in their own part. So if we not get it right in the family, the society cannot get it right.
That's
So
right.
we discover that when these children leave our families, they live anyhow, anywhere the eyes of their parents cannot reach. So if we should follow the directives of the Word of God, the Bible says, "Let not a child in a way he should go. When he grows, he will not depart from it."
Yeah.
You discover that when these cultures are inculcated in them, even at the absence of their parents, they cannot be able to do otherwise when the peer pressure is marked on them. I use myself as a case study. Even before I left the comfort of my parents' house, there is nothing that can make you to stay outside the house by 8 p.m. When I went to the university, even when they are not seeing me, you can't hear it. It becomes part of the lifestyle.
Okay.
So such things can be inculcated in the life of children, even at the assets when they are on their own, independent. You discover that these things flow naturally.
Thank you, Stanley. They said we need to wrap up here. Thank you very much for calling in, and we hope you call in again next time. So viewers, we've talked about preteens, discipline in the home, how to raise them, and the issues around them. Next time we're here, we'll be talking about teenagers, and we look forward to seeing you and hearing from you. Thank you, Professor Teresa Madu. Thank you, Mrs. Namo. God bless you. And from me, Amaka Ocheke, God bless you, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you very much.